we're hitting some big numbers this year for sure, you guys. I can't believe it. I just don't feel any different, but I do feel different. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Appa, in case you guys are new here. Today I just wanted to sit down, do a talk video, because I know I have been doing a lot of vlogs. I know I have been doing a lot of, other types of video, project user rep, all that stuff. As much as I enjoy doing those types of videos, I also want to, talk more about life and talk more about real things happening, life lessons, those types of things. Today I want to talk about 27 things that I've learned over the past couple of years in my life, and I am turning 27 on September 27th. We're going to see this video like much later on, but yeah, just thought I should let you know that my birthday is in September, but this video is going up later. So without further ado, I am just gonna go ahead and get started with the things that I have learned over the past couple of years. It took me a long time to kind of realize is that you just cannot be perfect at everything. I am the type of person who can be a perfectionist, and then I put a lot of pressure on myself, and then I'm like, okay, this is not working out, and then I start feeling sad about it. But over the past couple of years, I've definitely learned that it's okay not to be great at something, and what you can appreciate is that you're trying your best. It is okay to not always be in a routine. If you have known me for a while, personally or on this channel, you will know that I am quite the routine person. But it is okay sometimes to break out of your regular routine and do something out of the ordinary, which you wouldn't normally do. And this is something I've just kind of learned over the years, that I have to be more open to doing something which is not necessarily something I would do on an everyday basis. Sometimes you just have to live in the present and enjoy the moment rather than thinking about the future all the time. Again, if you've known me and if you have been on this channel, you guys know I pre-film a lot of content. I think about my future a lot. I plan things ahead of time. I am a planner and I am proud of that, but sometimes it can get a little too excessive because not everything is under your control, and sometimes you just have to live in the present and just appreciate what you have in the present rather than thinking about the future at all times. It's totally okay to be single in your mid to late 20s or in your 20s in general. I just feel like there's almost like this pressure from society that by the time like you hit 25 plus, you should be in a serious relationship. You should be pursuing engagement or marriage. And although I do want those things for myself at some point in the next couple of years, it is okay to wait, and it is okay to focus on yourself if that is what you want and if that is what God wants for you. And this is something that I've just learned over the years. I'm currently single and I am definitely content with where I am in my singleness. I'm not necessarily like content with everything, and I'm still working on that, but it is okay to be single. It's totally okay to fall behind, whether it's in school, whether it's in things in life. It is totally okay, and it took me a really long time to kind of accept this, but I have accepted it at this point. I definitely fell behind this year. As some of you guys know, I am not able to graduate on time. I'm graduating next year now, and that put me a whole year behind. You know, my colleagues are moving forward with employment opportunities and other things, and I was really feeling very, very down about myself, very low about myself, I should say. But it is okay. Sometimes life happens, and sometimes you just have to focus on your mental health, your physical health, and it is totally okay to fall behind, whether it's in your professional or any other aspects of life. Verse 6 is kind of related to something that I said earlier, which is to stop comparing yourself to others. I don't care if this is about, like, you know, you comparing yourself to other students, you comparing yourself to other women. You just need to stop comparing yourself, because you're not them, they're not you. Everyone has their own journey in life. I feel like I really was struggling to compare myself with other people, especially in a professional setting, the past couple of years that I've been in grad school. And that is not something you should really be doing, because like I said, everyone's life is different, everyone's journey is different, and just focus on yourself. You know, focus on what you stand for and what you're able to do and how you're progressing, rather than watching someone else and be like, oh my gosh, they have everything that they want, or they're better at this than me, oh my gosh, they're like the teacher's pet, whatever it is. You know, just stop comparing. It is okay to have a small group of people. This is something that I started learning more in college, and once I started graduate school. I used to think, you know, the high school me used to think, oh my gosh, like I have to have a lot of friends. But honestly guys, the less people that you kind of have in your friend circle, the less worry you will have moving forward as you get older. This is something that I just have learned over the years, and I'm totally happy with the people that I have in my life right now. You just have to wait on God's timing. This again took me a very long time to kind of just understand. I'm still playing the waiting game, obviously with singleness, obviously in my profession. Like I mentioned earlier, that I'm not graduating on time. I haven't really moved forward with my degree yet. You just have to trust God's timing. For me, like, I was very upset over the past couple of years because, you know, obviously by my 27th birthday, I wanted to be applying for jobs, moving forward in another state or so. But God put me behind 1 year, and that's a blessing because it's allowing me to focus on my relationship with Him. So you just have to trust God's timing. Who knows what's gonna happen next year? Who knows where I'm going to end up? Maybe I'm going to end up where I want to end up, but you just have to trust Him. Number 9 is also something I have struggled with a lot as a woman. Many women struggle with body image, body acceptance, you know, those types of issues. Over the years, I personally have just kind of accepted my body the way it is. Like, I can never be like super skinny. I try to eat healthy and I try to exercise, you know, 4 to 5 times a week, and I try my best. And I don't want to overdo it. I don't want to go on, you know, fat diets to try to lose weight or anything. And that's okay. It is okay to, you know, accept yourself. You really just have to kind of accept yourself, because if you don't do that, then it's going to cause, you know, more problems in your future. So that's something I've just kind of learned, is to, you know, accept who you are as a human being, the way you look, all that. Number 10 is kind of related to what I just talked about, and this is exercising and eating for the right reasons. And I feel like there's a lot of, you know, like fad diets out there, but you really have to kind of think to yourself and be like, why am I doing this? Like, am I exercising to look a certain way? Because I feel like that really shouldn't be the goal, exercising or eating right. I know, like, we live in a society where, you know, it's all about the looks, it's the flex culture, let's be real, and that's just not what your intent should be when you're exercising or eating healthy. Like, think of it from like a health perspective. Yeah, you know, looking better comes with exercising and eating healthy, but that shouldn't just be your goal, because, you know, many people just go on these like really fad diets to look a certain way, but that's not really healthy. Strength training for women is actually very, very important. This is something I have like learned over the past 3 to 4 years, maybe, when I did start doing, you know, light weights. Obviously I don't, you know, do the heavy weights. If you do that, that's great, but even a little bit of strength training has made me a lot stronger. It has really toned my arms, and it just is very, very important for women to do that, because it's really helpful in the long run, I promise you. Because some of the people that I know from like my fitness classes and stuff, you know, they do strength training because of, you know, osteoporosis and all those other types of things in the future. So I think it's very important for women to do some sort of strength training. Your mind should have peace when you meet the right person, and you should not feel conflicted. I know I just talked about singleness, but hear me out. I think this is going to be very like person to person type of situation, but I'm kind of at that point in my life. If I'm like pursuing someone in a relationship, like, I need them to be a Christian. I need them to be able to meet my family. I know not everyone kind of has that like mentality, but that is something which is very important to me. And, you know, I was in a situation where I was like, you know, I like this person, but I'm feeling very, very conflicted because they don't follow Jesus, and you really shouldn't be feeling that way. I feel like when you meet the right person, you are not going to be feeling that way, and that's something I have learned over the past couple of years as well. Okay, to take a break and not always be on the go. Oh my gosh, you guys, it took me such a long time to kind of just realize this, because like I said, I'm the type of person who is very like routine based, and I'm also very like, I gotta go do something, and I don't really like sitting around. But it is totally okay to just sit down and not always be on the go. And I feel like that's something I've like realized, especially this semester, as I'm not really as busy as I have been in previous semesters, or, you know, in school or in life in general. And it's totally okay to just, you know, take a break, not do anything, and just not be on the go all the time. And there's a big difference between love and infatuation. Oh my word, you guys. It took me a while to realize this. But there is a big difference, and you can, you know, really like someone's appearance and everything, but you really have to get to know the person, and, you know, just spend more time with the person and like their qualities in order to be in love. I hope I'm making some sense. A couple of years ago, I did go through a pretty bad breakup, and that honestly really just changed how I viewed men in general. But like over the past couple of years, I've just come to realize not all men are the same, and not all men want to use you. And I'm sure there are a lot of women, if you're watching this video, you know how painful and heartbreak can be. But just know that not all men are that way, and not all men want to treat you in a wrong way. It took me a while to like get that, but I have accepted that now. Number 16, your career is not the end all be all. And oh my gosh, I really had to think about this, especially this year, you know, with like me having to take a break and everything. I obviously was going through some things, and someone pointed it out to me, is that you being a graduate student, you being a master's student, you being a nurse practitioner student doesn't define your worth. And to be honest, like that really clicked in my head this year, is that wow, I never even like thought about that. Like I used to like always be like, gotta get my MSN, gotta get my master's, but it is not the end all be all. There's so many aspects to life which are important. And honestly, if you're in professional school, I really want you to like look into other aspects of life as well, enjoying you know, time with family and friends, you know, giving time to yourself, giving time to God if you're religious. You know, those are some other aspects of life that is also very important. And it's not just about your job or your future, and that's the only identity that you have. Okay to be that small town girl. Oh my gosh, you guys, my whole life I've lived in a small town, okay? And it's okay to like not be embarrassed about like being from like a small city or small town or whatever. Like I am so proud of that. I accept that. And people mock like Indiana all the time. Like they say stuff like, oh, what is there in Indiana? Corn. And like they make comments like that, and honestly it doesn't really bother me. I'm a small town girl. I like my small town, small city values, and that is okay. And I don't want to live in a big city, and that's okay too. By big city, I mean like New York, Boston, places like that. Number 18 is kind of related to what I kind of was talking about. Sometimes you just have to move to a place which is like out of your comfort zone in order to like pursue a career or for job reasons, etc. And I kind of just had to accept this. It took me a long time to accept it, because I was like, oh my gosh, like there are so many other cities or so many other places that I could have gone to school for, but I wanted to be in Milwaukee, honestly, guys. That's where I had applied initially, but I didn't get accepted to the school, but I got accepted to the school in Cleveland. So it is okay. Sometimes you just have to make decisions which are, you know, not always aligned with what you want, but sometimes you do have to make those sacrifices, and I certainly had to do that. So I'm a big cook, guys. This is number 19. I'm a big cook, and I believe in eating at home 95% of the time. And I have my moments where I just don't want to cook anything, and that is okay. It took me a long time to kind of just realize that, and it's okay to not want to cook, and that I don't always have to have something in the house, especially because when you live by yourself, you're like, you know, I can stay home, I can save money, all that, but you don't always have to cook. It's okay to not wanting to be around people all the time. Like I used to think this was like not normal, but introversion is an actual thing, and I've been an introvert my whole life pretty much. I am honestly, like, I am social to a certain extent. Sometimes I just want to stay home, I want to lit a candle, and I just want to be cuddled up on my couch, watch movies, you know, edit a video, whatever I want to do. But it is okay to not wanting to be around people all the time. It is okay to have a small following on social media. You guys know I've been doing YouTube for a very long time. I also have been more active on Instagram lately. I used to just not be very active at all. I've been posting there every single day, and so far I have been enjoying it. And honestly, I don't have a lot of like hauls and stuff, and that's probably why I don't have a bigger following, you know, especially in like the Bath and Body Works community. I don't do makeup videos as much anymore, but I still do, you know, more like Bath and Body Works or Project Use It Up, body care type of content. But I'm not always going shopping because I do have to watch my money. When you're becoming a healthcare provider, which is what I'm doing, just in case you were wondering, you will most likely be studying for a while. I kind of had to tell myself this over and over again the past 2 years. I don't know what it is. I think it was because a lot of people around me who are not necessarily in healthcare or are in other professions, you know, a lot of them are not really studying and they are making money, good money too. And here I am still studying in my late 20s, you know, and I was kind of starting to feel a little low, a little depressed that I wasn't really where I wanted to be in life, while everyone else is like, you know, working, getting married and all that. But then I had to tell myself, Appa, like, how many of them are actually becoming healthcare providers? Because when you're a healthcare provider, you guys, like, you will be studying for a really long time, whether you're doing like nurse practitioner or whether you're doing PA school or becoming a medical doctor. Like, a lot of us are in our late 20s to early 30s, some even mid 30s to early 40s. Even if I'm done with school in the next year, like, I'm still going to be doing continuous education. That is part of healthcare. Anyone who works in a hospital will tell you that they have to do certain classes. Yeah, it's, you know, you're not getting grades and stuff, but like, you're still going to be learning. Healthcare is not like the same thing over and over again. There are a lot of changes that happen. Sometimes things don't always go the way you want it to, and that's okay. I feel like, you know, the younger me would get super annoyed and be like, it's just not going the way I wanted it to. And even like last year, I was just like, nothing is going the way I wanted to. For example, I'm going to keep using the same example again. Me graduating by the time I'm 27, me moving to Minnesota potentially and starting a job. These were all of the things that I had planned for myself last year, but instead I went back to India. I went through a treatment for 3 months. I was there for 3 months. I saw my grandmother before she passed away, and all of these other unplanned things happened. And sometimes you just have to look at it and you just have to accept it and be grateful that I was able to, you know, go back to India and see my grandma, who was very sick 2 months ago and such, and that I was able to see her before she passed away, because I had not seen her, you guys, in a very long time. So sometimes you just kind of have to accept the fact that, okay, it didn't work out the way I wanted it to, but I know God is still doing something and it will work out eventually, if not now. To move forward with therapy or medication when you really need to take care of yourself. I feel like I used to have this stigma, and I don't know if it's because I come from a certain cultural background where people don't expect others to go to therapy or you know, go on medication and stuff. But I do think now it's very important that you need to do whatever it takes to get your mental health on track. Number 25, you don't always have to follow the current trendy thing. Like, I had to really tell myself this, because I used to think, oh my gosh, like I always have to be on top of what trendy things are going around and stuff. For instance, wearing crop tops, you know, that's a trend. It still is a trend right now, but I don't really follow it because I honestly don't do most trendy things, and that is totally okay. Or like, be dating around in your 20s. It's totally okay to do that, but I don't have to do it. And many other things that I can give you examples of, but I had to tell myself it is okay to not be able to do those things, not be wanting to do those things. It's okay. Meet the people who will try to bring you down professionally or try to bring you down in your real life and make things hard for you. And sometimes you just have to deal with these people. And honestly, dealing with these people is going to make you a stronger person. I certainly had a recent experience where something like this did happen to me. I'm not going to go into much detail about what it was, but this definitely happened to me, especially this year. And honestly, that experience has made me a stronger person. And I will talk about it in the future whenever I'm able to. But right now I can let you know that there are people who are going to make things hard for you, but you will fight back, and you will eventually come out stronger once you face it. And the final thing, you just learn to have lower expectations from others as you grow up. I don't know what it is. I have kind of learned this over the past couple of years, whether it's with friendships, whether it's in other situations. And I just have learned how to just not expect a lot from people and give them their space. This is something that took me a while to kind of understand, but honestly, the less you expect from people, the more happy you are. And that's something I can definitely like attest to. I've definitely had so many experiences where I was let down because I had this expectation, but once I started, you know, not having those expectations, I was able to be happy and be content with myself, with my small group of friends and all that. So I hope this was somewhat motivating. I hope I was not too boring, you guys. Thank you so much, you all, for watching. I know, a very different kind of video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye now.